This past week was tough for a lot of folks with the snow on the ground and ice. And I was at a couple of homes where there was some severe ice problems where you could really hurt yourself. What we wanted to do is address, first of all, is I got a couple of emails and a call from our listeners. What can they do and what type of responsibility do they have in the event someone takes a slip and fall? So, Chuck, let's start from the legal aspect of it. What would a homeowner face in the way of liability if someone, a friend, a family, a visitor, even the electric meter reader guy, comes, slips, and falls? What happens there?
Well, that's never a pleasant thought because I'm sure you've seen the advertisements on the TV for everybody that's looking for
Hmm.
just that kind of thing.
Hmm.
The idea is if you have an expectation somebody's coming in, it's your property, and you don't keep the steps properly cleared, and somebody slips and falls, you could be defending yourself. So, A, have your homeowner's insurance up. That's always a good thing. And B, clean it off properly.
You read your policy or talk to your
Yeah,
insurance guy to find out what
yeah,
type of liability you have. I guess that's a
yeah.
really good point. And then be prepared. So now that takes us to the next step here. So is there an easy way to get rid of the ice that is building up? So, Brad, I read a couple of things. One of them pushed possibly using rubbing alcohol as a way of
Yeah.
getting rid of ice. Yes?
Yeah, that first word you used, easy.
Yeah.
That's probably the cringy thing for me. But
Yeah.
rubbing alcohol works, but it's going to take a lot of it. So if you have a driveway or a lengthy sidewalk, it'll melt it. It could potentially damage the green grass and foliage around it later. But it's going to be expensive
Not
to
a good
use
idea to
alcohol.
smoke while you're doing it either.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really.
you just don't want to smoke while down on your knees. It's a little flash fire check. Ugh. Yeah, you
So,
can't see it either.
yeah, well, you don't want to do that, right? Magnesium chloride is
Yeah,
another.
yeah.
What's the story on that?
Well, magnesium chloride is just kind of an ice melt.
Okay.
The challenge with the ice, any of the ice melts, is some of them can be very corrosive to concrete, untreated concrete in particular. It'll create the spalling effect. It'll take that top layer off the concrete.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of commercially available ice melts that really are, they don't do a lot of damage to brick and concrete. The one thing, if you have pets, you don't want your animals walking through that stuff. So there are some pet safe ice melts that are available too. And you'll see them in jars that are labeled, pet safe ice melt. And that's frankly, that's what I reach for at my house.
Is that because it will burn the paws of their
Yeah.
pets?
Because
Okay.
I mean, you think about it, most of those ice
Yeah.
melts are, the chemicals are salts. So it's
Okay.
gonna, hurt their paws.
So look for a pet safe,
Pet,
friendly,
Yep, pet
and
safe. And I think the other one is just, rock salt. A lot of people put rock salt down. That's okay. The first opportunity that you have, though, to wash it away off of the concrete, please do it. If the rain doesn't get to it first, once it warms up, just hose all that stuff off the concrete so that it doesn't continue to leach in and damage potentially the concrete or brick.
Brett, if it will damage concrete, if you hose it off and it hits your lawn or a garden
Yeah.
area, won't it do damage there?
Well, it's going to have to run off at some point in time. So the
Oh,
sooner you get it off, the better. Yeah,
got
it's
it.
going to take a lot of water. That's why you really need to think about it before you throw down a bunch of salt on your driveway or your sidewalks. Where's the runoff going to go?
Yeah.
You've got to manage that. So pick the safest, gentlest way possible to melt the ice away.
And then I heard kitty litter. I think
Mhm.
that's an old standard, but it's not to melt it. It's really just to give it
Yeah,
traction, right?
I think kitty litter just creates traction. I mean, I know
Yeah.
people who have a bag of it in their car just in case they get stuck in snow or on ice. They can throw some kitty litter down to gain some traction. It'll do okay. Just it helps with a little bit of when you're walking on it, but it doesn't really melt it away or remove it. It just gives you a little bit surer footing.
A reminder that you can see a replay of this show, actually visually see it. Go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com, and it will take you to a replay on YouTube of this show.